Kia ora, that's hello in Māori. My name's Tanya Walsh. I am the director of Rivers Run Deep. The date today is the 11th of June 2025. I'm doing a character breakdown for Grace. So Grace is the main character in this story. She is Māori, half Māori and European. She's got European in her blood. Uh, I'll tell you a little bit about the Māori culture. Usually we stereotype that Māori people are one, good at singing, play the guitar, or good at sports. It's a stereotype that people stereotype us into those categories. Well, Grace is a little bit different. She never makes it into the netball team. Netball is a sport that they play in New Zealand. It's a little bit like basketball, but it's for girls. And it was like really big that all girls play netball. She never gone to the good team. She was always on the bench. But she always tried really hard. Her family were really sporty. Her dad would take her to the rugby league, and that's where she got the love of rugby league from. And she never made it, and she wasn't in the cool group. And she was always on the outskirts of things. And so when she and she was brought up around a lot of kids, so her leadership skills was something that she was kind of born with, even though she didn't show it because she was quite shy. So moving forward, when she goes and she gets this job in New York, and she doesn't take the job. She wants to go to one of the sports, one of the young boys to go to New York. She didn't feel good enough to go on that trip. She didn't feel like she earned that right to do that. So she goes over, and so with that feeling of inadequacy, once she gets over there, she goes over there and she experiences a whole new culture. And at that time, Once for Warriors came out, which was a Māori movie, and I suggest that you watch that. And so at that time, she was really whakamā meaning really shy about her culture. And so in New Zealand, we have a thing called boil up, and that's just our food. And she had this innate love for her nanny, because she was the only one that didn't kind of push her into playing sports or being like the rest of the kids. She knew that she was a bit different. So when she comes over and she dies, she feels like she has lost her culture, because she was trying to be in another culture, trying to be like everyone else. And it was just something that she was evolving in. That's the falling off the bone as a symbol of falling away your culture to take on another culture. And then she goes in, and when she finally makes it, and she goes with George and the Have family, and she bears her chest to the world, to the photographer. She loses her mana. So in New Zealand, Māori talk lots about mana being pride, like they're quite prideful, and that's mana in your family and a status kind of thing, like status and who you are. In the tarot card, that's the emperor or the empress. That's if you know anything about tarot. And so that's how I just articulate that. So when and she'd been in a man's sports all this time, and so she loses her mana from that, and with that she stops eating. She doesn't feel worthy enough to eat. She kind of hates herself, so she punishes herself by not eating. And then she goes back and she meets Pat, and she's a bit jaded from the abuse that she got from George, and with the past life, which she will be acting in as well as Mika. She goes through the experience of being with a man because of his power rather than love. And then she meets Pat. And so that's the past life playing out in that. So anyway, that's a bit about that. So when she gets pregnant and she holds those babies, because she leaves her babies behind, she feels her mana come back to her through the babies, and that was through the mana of herself as a past life when she died, but more or less all her ancestry that she's carried in her belly. So anyway, that's all I've got down for the breakdown. A couple of things that you probably want to watch Once for Warriors, and that's at that time when you were Māori, you kind of try not to be too Māori. So that was it's going to play out in that era in the 90s. And also, and she's not sporty, she's a bit in that. I want you to look at the tarot cards and see what Empress is. So she becomes an Empress and she loses that status. So Empress in the tarot cards, just Google up what Empress means. And that's all. I look forward to seeing you. My name's Tanya Walsh. And I've just kind of roughly worked out how long this is going to be. It's going to be 2.5 months shoot. So anyway, that's about the backstory that you need to do on that, and you can do your own and gather. She's a fictitious character. There is no one like her. It's something made up in my brain. Me as a child, I was quite popular and I was quite good at sports. So it's definitely not me. It's just a figment of my imagination. Okay, kia ora.